Man, I don't know who needed that win more. The Miami Heat as a team or me. Because if the Miami Heat did not win this game tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers coming off of a back-to-back without Jared Allen, I would have been saying Darian Peterson, Cameron Boozer, Keaton Wagler, welcome to Miami. But guess what? The Miami Heat, they finally put some joy back in me. I can't say they put faith back in me. I can't say they're back because they finally snapped a 5-game losing streak. You just lost 5 games. You finally won one. Congratulations. But this one looked good. I liked it. I love this win. Not you were expected to go into Cleveland tonight. You know, you're playing 2 games in Cleveland, a little series, Wednesday and Friday, and you win the first game. They're coming off of a back-to-back last night. Jared Allen's not playing. Tyson's not playing. Max Strus isn't playing. Not surprising, but you're expected to win this game. You know? But the way they did it, I liked it. This was a win that we needed. We needed a win. However, you can get it really bad. But this one, the way it got done, is very important. It was much needed to snap this 5-game lose streak. This type of win is much needed. You know why? Not only did we see Ware and Bam actually play well together, we saw Ware in it. His head was in the game tonight. He looks like he stacked the day in the right direction, as Spo would say. But you saw Norman Powell start, you saw Tyler Hero start, and they both had solid games. But also, you know what you saw tonight, which is always a bad thing, and you saw the third quarter troubles. You saw them. They were up, 19 or 17 going into the half, and you saw the third quarter fall apart. The Heat lost the third quarter by 17 points. Something that they've been having trouble with all season was maintaining a lead and blowing these large leads in the third quarter. These third quarters happened last season. They've been blowing leads left and right. Whether it's the start of the first quarter, they start off hot and they blow the lead, or they start off the whole first half hot and they blow the lead. The Heat have been struggling with this all season. But you know what happened? Despite being on a 5-game losing streak, despite losing the third quarter by 17 points, blowing another large lead, they did not stick their head in the sand. They did not give up, and they kept going. And they were able to grit out a victory and win the fourth quarter in response by 17 points. That's what I loved about this victory. Now look, I don't want to be blowing leads anymore. I hate blowing leads. I want to cruise through the game, no sweat. And it does get stressful. But I like the heart they showed tonight. 5-game losing streak. You're in Cleveland, and you're able to put together a great fourth quarter. Which, honestly, the fourth quarter, they started off by losing it was a tie game, I believe, going into the fourth, and then they lost it immediately. But then the group that helped them build such a large lead in that first half of Jaquez, Hero, and Ware on the floor, they were able to, kind of separate themselves from the Cavs, giving them a 5-point or so lead in that fourth quarter. Jaquez hit a big 3, Tyler Hero hit some big buckets, but then the lineup of Ware, Bam, Pella, and Jaquez at some point before he got hurt, and then in came Norman Powell also, of course, in that lineup, and then I believe Wiggins also came in there when Tyler Hero was on the bench. Tyler Hero did not close out this game for the last 5 minutes. But that lineup right there, mainly with Bam and Ware at the helm, were able to close this game in an inspiring way. We saw Bam and Ware play together how we needed to see them play together. Man, I know there was no Jared Allen, and Jared Allen probably would have given troubles. He's a menace. But guess what? We saw Bam and Ware work together to close a game, and it worked. Ware hit a big 3. He hit a big and 1. He slammed it on Evan Mobley, getting blocks left and right. And then also we saw Pelle Larsson, who's got a reduced role now because we went with the lineup of Powell and Hero to start. Pelle Larsson, he's been a good, solid starter for us, but he's not coming off the bench. He still gives us 34 minutes with 3 important offensive rebounds. I believe 2 of those coming very clutch moments in the fourth quarter. He's just solid, and he hit a big 3. Pella Larson, man. Jaime Hawkins was big for us in the second half. Big. Hit that big three I just said, hit, down the Jaime Highway for some big buckets, 14 points. Then he rolled up. He rolled his ankle. He stepped on James Harden's foot, rolled his ankle. Hopefully he's all right. And as I said, Ware, 13 points, 11 rebounds, hit all three of his threes. Once he gets that three going, he hit, was it 2 threes in the first quarter? But he hit one in the first. His first shot was a three, and he hit it. That's important for Chloe. You can just tell him hitting that first three, him hitting his first shot is just so important for his mental and so important for his motor in these games, man. Just to get it, just to keep his head in the game and keep him motivated and just keep him active. He just needs to hit. I wish you can just automatically guarantee Khalil Ware to hit his first three of the game because that seems to just get him going. But hey, you can't do that. But he was solid. He's been struggling from the three. He was solid tonight. Hit all three for the three. Casper Yakatonis got 14 minutes. He was just out there. And then, as I said, Norman Powell, 19 points. He was pretty solid. 3-7 from the three. Tyler Hero had some big buckets, big threes. 4 of 8 from the three. Bam Adebayo really struggled in the first half. He had 2 points going into half. But then in the third quarter, he was the only one scoring, drawing fouls and doing all that. He had 17 points, 10 rebounds, and I didn't even know 7 assists. Andrew Wiggins, solid 12 points he had. And so a solid all-around performance. And we didn't get none of the jobber guys in the game. We kept it simple, stupid. We KISS lineup right here. Keep it simple, stupid. We basically, I would say, had an 8-man lineup because Yakatonis did not play that much. And also, Hawkins had to leave the game early in the fourth quarter, which he probably would have had some more minutes in. So we can give those guys. So we had an 8.5-man rotation in this game. We didn't see any of the Drew Smiths. We didn't need a Myron Gardner energy start. We didn't see Jovic. None of those, or Fontecchio. We didn't see any of the. We kept it simple. We kept it to the guys right there, and it seems like we have more success with less for some reason. When Spo has too many chess pieces, he doesn't know what to do with all of them at times. Great win for the Miami Heat, 120-103 in Cleveland. We have another game Friday against the Cavs in Cleveland again. And in the standings now, let's look at the standings. I haven't even looked at them. The Heat are now 8th. The Magic are 10th. The Hornets are 9th. The Heat are 8th. The 7th. The Sixers, I saw they scored like 150 points, the 76ers. They got back Paul George and Joel Embiid. Had no idea that was going on today. And then the Hawks, I saw that game actually. The Hawks won by, the Pistons came all the way back, and then the Hawks won by 1 point, of course. That happens. And the Raptors actually are about to lose right now, so they're going to drop. This whole shit is going to change. I believe maybe the Sixers are going to go into the 6th spot, maybe the Raptors go into the 6th spot. I have no idea, but this whole shit's about to change in about 20 minutes, because the Raptors are for sure about to lose to the Clippers tonight. Other than that, big win for rankings-wise, to finally snap a losing streak-wise, and to see Ware and Bam play together-wise, and everything rise, and my mental health rise, and all the Heat fans' mental health-wise. Huge win for the Miami Heat finally getting through this. And as I said, we have another game on Friday against the Cavs. Hopefully, we can contain James Harden again. James Harden was contained this game. He really was. He was not as effective. He had a couple big threes. He had a couple threes that were decently big. But he had 18 points, man. He had 7 assists. He didn't have 10 like Harden, or you know what I'm saying? He didn't have a triple-double. But it felt like he was more contained tonight with great defense by Davion Mitchell and others. Donovan Mitchell, he was somewhat contained until he finally got going in the third quarter, hitting crazy-ass last-second shot clock threes and hitting threes left and right. He was pissing me off. Sam Merrill had a big second half. But as I said, despite all this happening in the third quarter, where the Heat usually fall apart, we showed some fight. Despite being on a 5-game losing streak, despite being at our lowest low probably of the season, and we had a great fourth quarter put together and won the game. That's what's most important right there. As I said, this don't mean we're winning a playoff series. This doesn't mean we're back. This doesn't mean anything. We won the game. It looked nice. I like the way we did it. Now let's go and do it again on Friday. Simple as that. Let's go Heat.